Just Half-Life. Oh, I need to switch the screen. Or just the Half-Life 1 chapters here, just because I think I don't know. I haven't done a tier list in a while, and I think after this, maybe sometime a little bit later, we'll do like a Half-Life 2. There's like options to do like all of them, but I think that would just be a big clusterfuck in my opinion. So do Half-Life 1 here. Starting off with questionable ethics. After residue processing, you're kind of getting the hang of like getting all your weapons back, but in the meantime, you're noticing your it's not really a whole lot to view here, but in the meantime, you're getting your weapons back, and you're discovering all the science experiments that you didn't know existed then. Like, was it like alien grunt and like that one pit? The first thing you encounter while going through the chapter here. It's pretty fun. I'll give it I'll give it a decent. It's not exactly the greatest, not exactly the best. Surface tension. Longest chapter in the game, I think. Depending how you play it, probably, maybe. I don't know. It could be kind of nuanced. I think this is pretty fun. I think for a first playthrough, though, it's probably the hardest thing in the world. It'd be like one of those levels where you get past like a certain section, but you'll probably have a hard time on it, maybe. And so you have to take a break for a few days, but you come back to it later, and you're able to get past the type of thing. That's what I kind of think of think of the level as. Me personally, I actually really do like this level. Until you get to like the end bits. And it's like, I said with surface tension, right? I actually really do like this level, so I will give that one an A. Oh, just like subjective opinions here, right? Forget about Freeman. Now, the main reason why I kind of dread surface tension is because forget about Freeman. I can't say I really enjoy this chapter particularly too much. It just feels kind of monotonous. I kind of loathe like playing it. Maybe it's like the enemy placements, or maybe I don't know. Every time I just play it, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of that level. I don't care. Lambda Complex. Not too hard, just kind of tedious here. I think this is the chapter where you get the Gauss cannon, and then that's pretty cool. And because of that, it's actually very fun to play with. But because I think I'll give that one a decent. The overall level and kind of like getting up to the portal, like the tower section, I thought that was pretty interesting, but it could be tedious depending, like if you want to go through all the portals first, like get all the selective items. You have to time your run through the portals methodically, so you don't like fall off by the time you get to the higher levels. There's still a good amount of supplies to be had if you're willing to put worth the effort. That's kind of what it is. However, it's worth it though. You could be like 1 HP, but if you follow, if you carefully go through the portals, make your way through. There's like some of them have just like caches where you can like restock in health and supplies, so that's pretty nice. And I think it gives you the introduction to portals too, which I thought was pretty cool. Zen. Okay. So it's more or less an introduction to what you'll be dealing with for the rest of the game after Lambda Core. There's not really a whole lot going on for that. It's not really like bad gameplay. It's kind of just like an introduction. I'll kind of give that like a week, really, because there's not really a whole lot going on. Still think it's interesting now, because I'm pretty sure last time I checked, Zen, like the whole Zen dimension was created like in a week. While if you compare that to the Black Mesa, which is the complete remodified version of Half-Life, that took like years. And even though that game, that dimension in that game was still drawn out, it was still pretty fun to play regardless. But enough that about Black Mesa though. But Zen though, it's kind of just an introduction. It's whatever. Gonarch Slayer. Your main objective is to focus a giant testicle. That's really true. I'm pretty sure I think there is a forum on the internet where it talks about the devs putting like a giant testicle on an armored spider. Okay, when you first see that, that's probably what you're going to think. It's just a giant hanging testicle. That's all you do. It doesn't take too horribly long. It is kind of annoying if you don't know what you're doing, but because I've done many playthroughs, I don't think it's that bad, but I don't know, man. I think I'll give it a week. Like, I can't say as much as I am a fan of Half-Life here. I can't say I really care overall with the Zen levels. I mean, I'll play them, but I don't really, I'll give that a decent. It's okay. It's whatever. Interloper, also known as Quick Save Simulator. And the main reason for that is because many playthroughs, every time I go through Interloper, I always find it tedious and annoying. Either it was due to like my, falling off a platform, so I have to redo like the whole, like climb up the elevators or the lifts or whatever. And if you're not good at like quick saving, you got to do it all over again, so that can get kind of annoying. The enemy placements, it's like even like for your first playthrough, like sometimes something can just like come out of nowhere and you won't be expecting it. Like there's a certain part where you can kill like caged alien grunts, or you can choose to skip past it and move on to the next level. But there's like vortigons that are kind of just like there, and because they're a distance away, I mean, usually you should be able to get the jump on them. But as you go around through the level and you kind of go around the corner, so like you play through a little bit after that, the enemy placements just become kind of awkward and really annoying to get through. So Interloper is going to be an F tier. I hate this game. My famous catchphrase. Yeah, I'd rather play anything else. Nihilanth. It's kind of a interesting level here. It's pretty much end game boss, right? I think after doing many playthroughs, I don't know if I should judge it on the base of just like you're at that last part, you just want to finish the game, right? But I think for the hell of it, I might as well go that direction. So every time I get to the Nihilanth, I kind of more or less just want to beat the game at that point. The portals can become an issue, if you don't know how to like dodge them, which a lot of the time, like if you don't, kind of annoying, like you get teleported in like a few different areas that you probably didn't want to go through. You could still get back with these still after that, but I can't say, it is a game that came out in the 90s, so I can't say it's like it's terrible. It's complete dog shit, right? But I'll probably put it in like a C. Like, not for me. I more or less feel relieved after I beat that than happy, honestly. Anomalous Materials, aka A Calm Before the Storm. So I really like going back to when I first played Half-Life, which is honestly the second first-person shooter I've played, if not the first, because this was back when I had like Halo 3. This was back in like 2010, or I got introduced like Halo 3 on Xbox 360, and then my oldest brother, we had like a computer tower, like Windows XP computer tower. My oldest brother would sneak in, and I would watch him play it, and I thought it was actually pretty amusing watching. I really enjoy the gameplay there, and I don't know, the anomalous materials. I really like going like exploring throughout the science labs and kind of just snooping around to see what's Gucci, right? But no, I just like the overall exploring around like the labs. I just find it really glorifying. Not too much going on. Like I said, it's like a calm before the storm, so nothing really happens. I'll put that in the S tier. Actually, it's not my most favorite. I'll put it in the A tier, sorry. Unforeseen Consequences. After the events that changed the world completely, we are left to our doom, our demise, and we have to find our way out of the facility. What do? We kick gum and chew ass, that's what we do. It's kind of just like you're starting the game off. We had like, all right, now things are getting to business. You get the crowbar, you get the pistol, you gotta learn to aim, which I actually cannot do, I guess. I learned that the hard way. You get introduced to head crabs, zombies, vortigons, all the good stuff. I think that's pretty fun. I think it's a really good starting level. There's not really a whole lot going on. You kind of just learn the ropes, and you can choose to either kill the security guard for his gun, or if you're clever, because here's the thing, security guards have infinite ammo, right? Just like all the other games where NPC, they'll always have infinite ammo. But if you take that, then you're limited, right? So you got to be careful with that. That's where you also learn to interact with security guards to help you along with fights, so they can do the work for you, and you can just sit back with your hand on your cock. So, Office Complex. Sorry. See, I don't know what it... Now, I really do love the atmosphere when it comes to Office Complex. I remember when my oldest brother, when he got to this level, like seeing like the black and white, like tiled floor and the overall atmosphere and level design, it felt very glorifying. You know, you get it, you see the offices, you see cafeteria, and I don't know, I just like every time when I even play like a mod, and it's like, you know, I see black and white tiles and offices, I always think of Office Complex. It just gives me a really satisfying feeling in my anus. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, that's an S tier all the way, man. I really love Office Complex. We've got hostels. Introduced to a new enemy in the game. The Marines, where, you know, at the beginning, the very beginning, everyone thought we were supposed to get rescued by these bastards. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But as the nerdy scientists we are, we have to defend our science brothers and sisters if you're playing Black Mesa, but this is Half-Life, so brothers. You kind of have to chew your way through hell on earth to get through. It's actually not that bad. Although I will admit, when I first played We've Got Hostels, I did get turned around in an area that kind of like end up, you know, you go far enough in the chapter, you almost find yourself looping around to where you were before, and I did get a little confused by that. Overall, though, I think it's a really fun level. I'm giving that an A tier. I actually really do like playing that level. It actually pisses me off every time I see speedrunners skip this, that and power up, but we'll get to that in a minute. Then you get introduced to the MP5, which the sound effects and like the reload sound effects, believe it or not, I find it very satisfying to hear. Blast Pit. This is another one of my favorite levels, actually. I remember when I first played this, actually, and then I had my brother sit next to me back in the day here. God, I think I had to be in like 3rd or 4th grade, honestly, when I got, you know, playing my first M-rated, you know, shooter game. You know, don't like let mom or dad see it, right? You know, but we played it anyway. Getting past the tentacles, man, it was kind of scary playing a game like this. You know, you get scared like very easily. No, at least I did, because it's like the tension and just like the build up, I guess, like the way you have to like meticulously go around the rings to get to the rooms. You gotta like turn on the gas, the oxygen, and the power, and then you gotta carefully get your way back up. Like, I was able to figure out pretty quickly that the grenades, you gotta use the grenades to throw off their sound. However, I didn't know they were blind though, because truth be told, the tentacles are blind, but they will hear you. Kind of like, what's that one movie? Don't Speak or something like that, I think. Yeah, I really do enjoy playing that every time I play the game over again. I really love that chapter. Or if you really want to gung-ho it and you really just kind of want to get her done, you kind of can try to sprint through that. I wouldn't recommend that though, because they hurt a lot. Like even on the normal difficulty, they will eat your ass pretty hard. That's what she said. Alrighty, Power Up. Another one of my favorite chapters where, you know, these kind of go back to back here. Office Complex, Blast Pit, and then Power Up, right? I really do. This is an S tier, again, actually. Going back to when I first played this, that gargantuan creature scared the hell out of me. Because when you're close and like it runs towards you, it shakes the screen, which I thought was kind of being a little 4th grade, or, you know, that was scary for me, right? You know, first game, you get introduced to this, like, it's scary as hell. I don't know, I've always loved this chapter. Like, even seeing, like, my oldest brother, like, play it, because he's the one that introduced me, right? Even I was tensing up a little bit, like, ooh, don't do that. Maybe, you know, it's just like, sets you on edge a little bit. By the time you get to, like, that Marine section, on the first playthrough, that was actually really difficult, I'll be honest. You know, if not good with like placing traps or enemy placement, they can kind of eat your ass a little bit. Anyway, on a rel. See, this one's a controversial one, because on a rel, a lot of people complain that it's like too long or it drags out. For me, I actually really like this chapter. That's going in the S tier. Going back to when I was watching my oldest brother play that, left off on a rel. I don't think he really got past that. There's something about being in like a garage like railing system, and then you got to deal with like enemies as if it was like a stealth mission almost. That's kind of like the atmosphere I kind of grabbed from on a rel, even though that's not entirely the case. I just thought it was really fun to play. As far as like arguments go, like dragging out, it's kind of whatever for me, because you know I really love the level, so it's like, you know, not really a whole lot of complaints going on there. There was when I first played it though, getting on to the honor rail section, it is easy to kind of get lost if you don't know like where to go. Like if you shoot the arrow signs to lead the tram in different directions, if you know, you kind of just had to figure things out back in the day anyway, because guides weren't even a thing. So ultimately that was a little confusing, but you know, eventually you just figure stuff out. That's kind of how the games went back in the day. Eventually you kind of just do this and oh, that just worked. I think Honor Rail is a pretty good chapter. I really love, I just didn't like going on the outside bit though, because I'm a cave. I live in the cave, right? So, apprehension. Oh no, you get introduced to the crossbow only to lose it again. Then I think this is where you get introduced to the Black Ops. Kind of like a area you want to be very meticulous with your shots, because these Black Ops, oh dude, when you first get introduced to Black Ops, man, they're annoying. And on the hard difficulty setting, or you know, if you're playing on the disc version, which would be the difficult difficulty setting, same thing, they go invisible. You know, the best way to handle that is you kind of have to, like, you know, use the crossbow to your advantage, really. Crouch walk, don't run, don't make noise, right? But, you know, you don't figure that stuff out on your first playthrough, so it was hard. Until you figure that out, it's not that bad. I think, overall, you get all geared up, right? You know, you got your full slot of weapons, but it's like, lose them, man. It's kind of a twister right there. As far as level gameplay wise, I don't think it's that bad. I'd give it a pretty good. Residue processing. You just escape the trash compactor. You go through a toxic factory to reclaim your weapons, because you lost them all while the Marines attempted to throw you in the trash compactor, but you escaped, right? The level design, I actually kind of really like it. I love some of these level designs overall, like the office, the rail, or blast pit power. You know, doesn't suit the lab aspect a little bit, but you know, that extra addition, it brings something like a little different, something special, so it doesn't like bore out the game, right? So like residue processing, so you're from like the science labs to now a factory. At least I think. I'm not entirely sure, but kind of like just like that offset area in the Mesa facility where they kind of deal with their trash and all their chemicals they need to dispose of, which I thought was pretty cool. I really like it. I give that a oh no, here's the thing too. You also gotta have to be. I'll give it a pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, if you're playing on a hard difficulty, you got to manage your weapons pretty well. So if you like to get all the kills, which is something I like to do very often, you know, if possible, if they didn't put like -1 in the coding for the enemies where they indefinitely respawn. I always hated that shit, but if you're able to get all the kills, I like to, because it makes me feel like, you know, I cleared out the whole area and we're all good to go. Now we can carry on through whatever. And I just really like that feeling, you know. It's also an OCD thing for me, if I'm being honest. So you don't get a whole lot of weaponry in residue processing, so you kind of have to be really methodical. Or you can just run past all the enemies. But like I say, if you're playing on a higher difficulty, you know, the hard difficulty, you kind of have to like manage your resources well. But like I said, or you can just skip past it. That would be my overall take for the Half-Life 1 chapters here. My top tier ones, my favorite ones, Office Complex, Blast Pit, Power Up on a Rail. Really love those. At least in my opinion. Remember, it's all subjective here, so if you don't like these, it's, well, fuck you, I guess. But no, these are just my thoughts here. These are fun to play. I don't think they drag out, or you know, I think the level design's pretty decent, pretty good. And we got our Bs where it gets, feels like it gets kind of tedious a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. They get a little bit tedious, but it's overall not too bad. Weak is just like dull and boring. I don't really care for those. Interloper, objectively, is probably the worst chapter in the game. I'm not the only one that can say that. I'll have to do a Half-Life 2 sometime here soon, actually. But yeah, it's my overall. I'd say this is my my tier list for the chapters here. My thoughts are.